Hello, 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 goals friends. Hello, goals friends. We are ready. We're ready for talk time with Angela. It's Tuesday, and of course, on Tuesdays, we are ready to share some really good stuff. So let's just go ahead and get started. So today is really going to be good. So, of course, it's Tuesday at noon, and I'm Angela Odom. And I'm just going to ask you to go ahead and share your thoughts with your other goals friends. I want you to share in the comments bar, like this page or this channel. Invite your goals friends to view Talk Time with Angela. You can go ahead and share right now this broadcast as we're doing it. This would be great. So the agenda today, of course, is we're talking about the 7 types of leadership power. I'm going to go ahead move through that. So I'm the founder and CEO of the Better You Project and a creator of the Learn Achievement Model. I'm a certified personal development coach and very proud Army veteran. I provide services through training workshops, panel discussions, speaking opportunities, group coaching, and within the Better You Academy for our goals friends. I'm the author of Bronco Strong, a memoir of the last deployed personnel services battalion, and also a co-author of one of Camouflage Sisters' books. This one is the leadership edition. It will be released in 2019. I'll be sure to keep you informed. The Better You Project. Ooh, I'm so excited about the Better You Project. I love being able to be of service to others. Within the Better You Project, we look at helping our goals friends achieve success in their relationships, their finances, health, and in their leadership abilities. Today's topic, this is so good. Today's topic is so good. 7 types of leadership power. Now, sometimes you're talking to people and they're like, oh, I'm empowered, or, oh, I feel the power. Or, it's just like, I don't know if they really know what they mean, right? Words mean things. So power means different things to different people. For some, power is seen as corrupt, the powerful, they're beating up the little guy, right? For others, the more power they have, the more successful they feel. For even others, power is of no interest at all. And so on that spectrum of 1 to Z, I'm not sure where you are, but we're going to talk about the five bases of power first. They were identified by 2 gentlemen, John French and Bertram Raven. This was in the early 60s. They did a study that conducted power in leadership roles. They were trying to figure out what, the different types of powers, how would that affect one's leadership ability and the success in a leadership role. It's pretty interesting. So power and authority. Leadership within organizations is only attainable through the combination and use of power and authority. Power and authority, right? As discussed by John Cotter. John Cotter wrote a phenomenal book. I recommend you read that. He wrote it in 1985. And he's quoted as saying, power is the ability to influence others to get things done. Most people say leadership is, but actually power, I want you to consider that. Power is the ability to influence others to get things done, while authority is the formal rights that come to a person who occupies a particular position. That manager is in that position. Might not necessarily be the leader or the person that's wielding the most power most effectively, but formal rights come to the person who occupies a particular position. Since power doesn't necessarily accompany a position, sometimes there's a problem. Problems arise because power is imposed without the backing of authority, right? Now that could create some conflicts or challenges, right? So while too often we can find powerful people, who really don't hold genuine positions of authority, we frequently find people who are in positions of authority and they are powerless to influence the behavior of others, because ultimately that's what we're doing. We're influencing people's behavior. We want them to do something, right? Or to do or support what we're doing. So leadership can be learned. That's what I believe. Leadership can be learned. Some people say they're born leaders. Well, we're all born leaders. Stop that foolishness. Leadership can be learned, and in power can be developed. But in order to be an effective leader, one must be able to distinguish from the various forms of power. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to select the one, I'm going to encourage you rather to select the one most in line with your leadership style, your character traits, and the working environment. So I'm going to say that again. Leadership can be learned and power can be developed, right? And so when we look at formal and personal power, we're looking at legitimate, reward, and coercive. You know, you want to coerce somebody to do something. That has a negative connotation, and most of the time it is seen as negative. It is. And then, of course, the personal power is expert, referent, charisma, and information. You want to just think about those two different categories of power: formal and personal power. So the first formal power we'll take a look at is legitimate power. This refers to the authority of a formal position and stems from the concept of ownership rights, right? And then there's a whole bunch of leaders who believe that their power augments as they are promoted through the ranks. So without personal power, legitimate or position power has its limitations. You understand what I mean? So if you're just a person that's holding a position, then that does not necessarily mean that you are effective. That does not necessarily mean that you're able to influence people to achieve the organizational goals, because that's in essence what we want. We want results. And then whatever your team is, we want you to be able to lead your team, have a vision, right? And lead your team to completing the organizational goals. And so legitimate power is the first of the formal powers to take a look at. Then there's reward power. This results in workers doing what is asked before they desire positive benefits or rewards. So we want people to do what we're asking them to do, achieving their particular, those results from where they stand, right? We want them to support us. I'm going to turn this down. I was trying to make sure I can see the comments. How you doing, Robin? Glad you're here. So that's the first one, reward. We're looking at reward, and so this can be anything a worker values, including but not limited to. So some people just want a pat on the back. Hey, good job. Some people want some, can I have some money? Give me a raise, a promotion, right? More responsibility. For example, for instance, one of the primary reasons people work is for so they can receive, money, so they can carry on with their lives. So let's be real. People have bills to pay, right? And there are countless other forms of rewards, and anything that can be desired can be a form of reward, from $1 million airplane to a couple of tickets to a baseball game. Or it could just be, some people just say, just tell me what you want me to do, and then recognize it, acknowledge it, mentor me so I can move to the next level. So there's several different types of reward. This reward power is really the ability to give other people what they want while asking them to do the things you want, right? How cool is that? So it's like a quid pro quo. It's like, you do your job and I'm going to figure out what I can do to influence or entice or support you, reward you. And it could be negative, it could be a passive coercion. So that might be when the rewards are withheld in response to poor performance. If you're writing the evaluation, it's performance evaluation time, and then you take a look at it and you're like, oh my good gracious, God, I've already talked to you 4 times about this one thing and you still have not accomplished the mission to standard, right? And so, no, you're not getting any bonuses. So that could be withheld that way. So anyway, so that is the second type of formal power. And then to coercive power. This is the opposite of reward. It's a leader can punish an employee or a team member because the threat of punishment can persuade an employee to act a certain way. This type of leadership power is called coercive power. This tends to be in a lot of organizations. It could, anywhere from the nail shop to the corporate office. It could be in your home, it's everywhere. So sometimes it's a negative form of power aimed at influencing others by instilling fear. Who wants to be all anxious and tense about coming to work, right? Everything you're doing might be scrutinized in a negative way. So coercive power does not encourage or motivate desired performance. All it does is discourage undesired actions. You get that? So it's actually discouraging you not to do things. This comes to mind with North Korea. It's an isolated, hungry, bankrupt, and belligerent country. And within the book Escape from Camp 14 in 2012, Blaine Harden, he says between 150,000 and 200,000 people are being held in his political prison camps, which have existed twice as long as Stalin's Soviet gulags and 12 times as long as the Nazi concentration camps. Very few people born and raised in these camps have escaped. We're talking about coercive power, right? So although workers in developed countries have little fear with regard to physical harm, like, in the US, the reality is much different in third world countries, particularly those closed economies such as North Korea. That was just an example, right? So nonetheless, in a lot of organizations today within the US, within Western countries, managers still continue to, want people to be scared of them. Ooh, and they threaten them like if-then statements, and then consequences such as being fired, demoted, bad reviews, and so on. So again, coercive power is not necessarily motivating a person to do something. It's actually discouraging certain actions. Not sure this is very effective for a long period of time. So many workers, though they won't admit it, they carry some level of fear with them within their workplace. Fear from reprisals or sabotage of their efforts. Sometimes you might have infighting created, an environment or culture created by the person who is in a position of authority. So this is really true when managers hold a great deal of power over their employees and have, you can withhold benefits, raises, assignment choices, or rewards. And so the good news is most managers today do not generally operate using overt fear. So this is, coercive power. I'm wondering, legitimate reward or coercive, which one do you really focus on and use and demonstrate yourself? Let's move over to personal power. So expert power comes from one's experiences, skills, and knowledge, right? So we gain experience in particular areas. We become thought leaders in those areas. We begin to gather expert power that can be utilized to get others to help us meet our goals. You might have a project manager, or you might be the project manager who is the expert at solving particularly challenging problems to ensure a project stays on track. You might be the person that knows how to operate the tech, or you could be the person that just knows how to unclog the copier. Expert power. So it just depends. So this is so expert power doesn't rely on formal positions, right? It really originates from people who possess technical information or specific skills and expertise that's respected by others. For example, it could be the guy that knows all the numbers, right? If you are on a team and you have to continue or keep up with a project, you might be the person that can manage the time of everyone as we're working, make sure it's more productive. That's a power. That's a expertise rather. So these professionals are typically promoted into managerial positions because they perform so well in their technical functions. And sometimes that particular person may not recognize the need to exercise power and influence over their subordinates and peers. They might not have been mentored or trained or coached on what they can do outside of the technical functions as it relates to leading teams and leading themselves. So they'll be challenged to become the leaders they aspire to be, or they could be. So they may continue to be experts in their field, right? Might have accountants. That's another example. But they can find it difficult to gain respect they need in order to affect others' behaviors. People who have more knowledge or experience than other members of a team, they exhibit expert power. Make sense? That makes sense? So referent power, that's another form of personal power. This is gained by association between the person exercising the power, legitimate power, or it could be charisma, and then some icon that actually wields influence and power. Notice in those words, influence and power, right? For instance, if someone is applying for a job, that person can influence the chances of being hired by imposing some referent power to the hiring manager. You've seen that. I'm sure you've seen that. Like the person the decision maker has someone else in their ear. They can mention that they know the CEO very well, or the person that's actually interviewing, doing that processing is like, yeah, I know Joe, he and I've already talked about this. So they've been encouraged to apply for a position because they believe the applicant has the right credentials, or you have someone who is influencing the decision maker. Does that make sense? So those with referent power can also use it for coercion. So one of the greatest fears we have as humans is really social exclusion. And all it takes is a derogatory or pejorative word from a social leader for us to be shunned by others in the community. That makes sense? Okay. And so we're moving on to charismatic power. It's a charisma power. So this is a way to exert influence over people through force of character. You've seen people, you've watched people, you've followed people who have such charisma. They can get people to do what they want by modifying behavior, thus modifying their behavior, the person's behavior. And it's all about getting results and then being aligned with the organizational behavior, the organizational goals. So someone with charisma could definitely influence a team of people or another person to accomplish a goal. So in the words of D.A. Benton, this was in 2003, charisma when you see it. I mean, we really do. In executives who exude self-confidence, style, composure, authority, and a boundless energy. Also positive. I was just going to add the person who is really positive also. That can propel them straight into the corner office. Benton goes on to say, executive charisma is the ability to gain effective responses from others by using aware actions and considerate civility in order to get useful things done. They say, kindness goes a long way, and sometimes like that confidence, someone who has style, you might just follow them to the moon and back, especially if you trust them and they have paired their charisma with expert power, right? And you trust because they understand how to get things done. They know the language, the culture. Yeah, this is good. So information power, this is derived from knowledge, which is an asset. Leader possessions to strategically influence the behavior, attitudes, and values in their favor. So this is based on being persuasive, right? You can use communication to influence others to share or not share, kind of withhold it also, information power. Or you could provide information to certain people, right, strategically. And this is independent of the influencing individual. So this is not necessarily the person who is in the position of leadership. It's just the person that has the information. It could be most places, you go, it might be the admin person. They got a lot of information. And I love going, talking to the schedulers, the people who schedule the person who is in the leadership position's calendar. Whoa, you're gonna find a lot of information that person is powerful because they can get you on the calendar or not, and they can tell you when the best time to come and so you can engage with that influencer. So that's a good, I love that information power. That's a good person to know. So as you can see, you don't have to be in a leadership or senior level role in an organization to have some form of power. In fact, the most respect is garnered on those who have personal sources of power. There's more respect for these individuals than those who have the power simply because they're the boss in the business, right? It's been shown that when employees are in an organization, associate the leader's power with expert or referent power, they are more engaged, more devoted to the organization and their role within it. Employees are also more willing to go the extra mile to reach organizational goals. And that's what it's all about, really. It is how do we align our actions, our talents, our skills with the organization's goals. So you want to be on a team with people you respect. So that's what we just focused on, formal and personal power. So we went through legitimate, rewarding, coercive, for formal, and then personal, expert, reference, charisma, and information. So the question right now is like, what is your source of power? And are you using the right source or simply throwing your weight around? Or are you shrinking? How effectively do you use your source of power to meet key goals and objectives? It's something to think about. You can use your legitimate and expert power and charisma, right? So share your thoughts with others in the comment bar below or to the side. You want to like this page, you want to like this channel. And I want you to invite your goals friends to view Talk Time with Angela. So every Tuesday at noon. So I thank you very much for that. So we're going to wrap it up. Wrap up this edition of Talk Time with Angela. So of course we go back to the Better Use project, Better You projects, the pillars rather. So I'm helping my goals friend achieve success in their relationships, finances, health, and in their leadership abilities. Today's topic focused squarely on leadership abilities. I wanted to remind you all that we're discussing former First Lady Michelle Obama's memoir, Becoming. Go to the link there go to angelaodom.com and just go up to the top of the page. You'll be able to sign up for the next session. So we're doing three different sessions because the book is broken up into 3 parts. And so we started last Wednesday. So Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We're doing it on Zoom, on the video chat platform Zoom. And so the next one is tomorrow, February 13th at 9 p.m. So you got to go to angelaodom.com, go up to the top, you'll see that link, or you just put in, this in angelaodom.com/P/P Michelle-Obama-book-discussion and sign up so I can send you the Zoom link, the video chat link. And then you show up at 9 p.m. and on Eastern time. And so I don't know, so the book itself, if you have, there you go, I got my book and got it all tabbed out, right? So if you have not already read it, then we're going, so we've already gone through the Becoming Me portion, and we're going to focus on Becoming Us, which is starts at chapter 9. And then next Wednesday, we will focus up with Becoming More. Ooh, I'm excited, right? Excited. Anyway, other thing we're going to do is I'm going to share or answer questions about my experience on the Oprah and the O Magazine's 3-Day Girls Getaway Cruise. We're going to meet the last Wednesday in February at 9 p.m. Eastern time on Zoom. Just go to angelaodom.com/Oprah. And so, yes, Oprah and Gail said, hey, go grab your BFF. And we're going to do a girls getaway cruise. So this was last May or June when the first announcement was made. Everything sold out in 24 hours. We got ourselves on a wait list, and in November the wait list was lifted. Yeah. And the cruise itself took place the end of January of 2019. And again, we're getting so many questions about it. So we're just going to answer those questions online for everybody to see, right? And again, so just go to angelaodom.com/Oprah. And we'll meet you there on Zoom at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And so I want to invite you to remain connected with us within our community of like-minded women. This is where we encourage one another, provide support, accountability for our goals friends. And so just go to grownwomenbetteryou.com and we'll see you there. So with that said, I am so excited about next Tuesday talk with Angela. So I see you here at noon. Make sure you share this video, share this recorded video. You can like and comment, and I'm looking forward to engaging with you again. I'm Angela Odom, and I am the CEO of the Better You Project, and I'm looking forward to helping you achieve your goals in the areas of your relationship, your health, your finances, and in your leadership abilities. So as always, I'm Angela Odom, and I am rooting for you. You all take care and enjoy your day. Okay, so Robin says, I believe I'm using a charismatic power and expert power as a leader. Yes, those are definitely, I believe, the most effective ones to use. You come with credibility, basically, right? Credibility and trust. That's what those two build. That's a great point. All right, Robin, well, thanks. And please just share this link, this video with your goals friends. And we'll see y'all. We look forward to engaging with all of you all today, tomorrow, next day, bam, bam, bam. So we'll see y'all in the Better You community for grown women. I'll take care.